Hello, class. My topic today is concerned with pay discrimination and sexual discrimination based on your gender and equal pay scale rights. And my topic is based off the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team versus the U.S. Federation of Soccer. So why do I have a Title IX slide here? Basically, Title IX is an act. It was created in 1972 to give student athletes more rights from and opportunities from sexual assault cases and opportunity to play sports. And this was basically an add-on, an addendum to the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And this ties right into my topic because this is basically the foundation or framework that the lawyers used when they were presenting their case versus the U.S. against the U.S. Soccer Federation for pay discrimination. As you can see, women have been fighting for equality for 50 years after census passing, and they continue to with the recent um, abortion rights bills being passed and the the not a ratification but a changing of the rules of the recent Title IX Act by Betsy DeVos, the past Donald Trump Secretary of Education. She made it harder for victims to file lawsuits against their perpetrators and gave the perpetrators more rights, all because of her conservative backgrounds and the patriarchal society that she is run by. So next slide. Here we have the women's national team who, what is her name? That is not Nancy. That's not Alex Morgan. That is Megan Rapinoe, and I forgot the other gal's name. I think Alex Morgan's right behind her. Long story short, her and four of the other gals stood in front of the courts and decided to sue U.S. Federation for pay discrimination because they were not getting paid for equal work. Is what the issue was. They played more games. They won a World Cup in the last 20 years. Well, the men have been knocked out and haven't even played in the last World Cup. And the reason why this is a interesting topic to me is because we are currently having the U.S. Men's National World Cup right now in Qatar, and FIFA, the running body for Worldwide Soccer Federation, is probably one of the most corrupt conglomerates in the world. Basically, they're taking money oil and they brought a soccer tournament, which is normally in the summer. We all know soccer, the World Cup's usually in the summer every 4 years, but now it's in the middle of winter and we're having games in the middle of Thanksgiving. I just to show you how corrupt FIFA is and soccer in general. So these women have not suing FIFA, but they're suing the U.S. Soccer Federation, who is part of FIFA. So, anyways, next slide. What is it all about? All about pay and equal play. Money, money, money talks, and there's lots of it being handed hand over fist, and the women feel they need to be compensated for their dedication and their hard work because they work just as hard as the men. They win more games, and they're marketable. So their defense is that maybe they don't generate as much revenue as the men's team, but they put in just as much dedication, and they get less opportunity and less revenue because the market is manipulated by the forces that be. Um, yeah, so that's why I have that slide up there because that's really what it all comes down to, and it comes down to respect and civil rights. But in the end, it's all about the money. And I love this. This is a great one because this is basically what represents the U.S. Soccer Federation's defense. They look at the women and men like apples and oranges. Like you cannot compare the two, when in fact you can. They want to separate the sexes and keep them divided, and that's how they control them. And what their defense is that, so for instance, women play more games annually and earn less revenue. That was their case that they brought to courts. However, the U.S. Soccer Federation has a defense called the market-based defense, meaning they only pay the women what the women are worth based on what the market what tells them. It's an external factor. They're saying that it's based on TV ads or ad revenue, TV deals, merchandise, and ticket sales. So popularity. So they're saying that the women, as good as they are, they don't generate as much revenue as the men, and maybe they don't, but within the last 10 years they have, and that's why the women have presented this to the courts, because they did win a World Cup, and they did they played more games, so they feel they have a right to be paid accordingly. And so what is at stake? Well, what is at stake here is that there's a new precedent that can be set by the courts if they do rule in favor of the women. However, recently, it was dismissed by the courts on May 1st, 2020, and the women felt that they really lost a big case here. But however, on February 22nd, recently, out of pressure from I don't know what media or the other powers that be, the U.S. Soccer Federation decided to a settlement for $24 million for all the women in the national women's team that sued them in that year, and they offered to give them an extra $2 million for their post-career goals, whatever it may be, in retirement, which is huge. So it sets a huge precedent. But unfortunately, it was based off pressure from other industrial forces at B that realized that hey, the women are marketable. We can make money off them more than we thought we could. So they've decided to settle and take the pressure off their backs. That's the 1% for you. So the context, like I said, it's all based on sponsorships, TV deals, and a patriarchal society. And as you can see, the hands shaking hands here are two white hands. And when it comes to that level and that much power, that's usually what it is. It's white men in control, determining what people of color and women can do with themselves and their bodies and what they can do for a living as far as working and industrial goes and things of that nature. So what does all this mean? This means that although they did settle, this is just one of a few major sports industries that continue to pay their women less based off the same market defense, like WNBA, NWSL, which is a National Women's Soccer League, which is a cousin of MLS, and I believe there's no professional baseball league and there's no professional American Football League, because those are those type of industries that continue to dominate and control the media and the influence and hold women down by telling them they can't do certain things, by offering them less opportunity. That's why Title IX was enacted, to provide more opportunity for women to play sports and not be sexually assaulted on campus or even as a student or whatever, And the thing with Betsy DeVos, she reversed all that, and she gave less power to the victims, which is usually 85% women, and gave it to the perpetrator. That just goes to tell you that the attack on women still continues. And with the recent, not to go on a tangent, but the abortion issues now, those are fundamental rights that women deserve as human beings, and they continue to attack them and take them away and create scapegoats and pigeonholes out of it, and pigeonhole women and the social constructs and things like that. So the new precedent is set. I feel that this is important because I have nieces and I have cousins and that are women and females, and they love soccer, they love sports, and I want there to be an opportunity for them when they get older. And when there's not, I'm gonna have to explain to them why. And I'm pretty grateful to have this opportunity to do these things, and I look forward to educating them if they have come with me with questions and things like that. I think it's a very important issue. The attack on women continues to be, and this topic was important. And it's just on a global scale now, and you can see what's going on, and I think that was just very relevant in our times, especially in the current landscape, in the political landscape in America. So thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate it. Thank you.